Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Film Seizure, now playing. I am Jeff Arbuckle. With me, as always, Jason Oliver. Jason.
Hello. I'm here to talk about movies.
Okay. Chuck Moore.
I'm also here to talk about movies.
I mean,
and maybe some other things.
One of us should have shouted out, we are Sex Bob-omb, and we're here to talk about movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Jeff Arbuckle. And what this show is if you remember a couple of years ago, I would oftentimes do like Film Seizure at the movies. I'd go to a movie, go to a couple movies. I'd do a review of them, what have you. Well, I'd stopped doing that for a little while, partly because it was time consuming, and partly because we thought that maybe someday we would have something where more than just me, maybe two of us, three of us, all, whatever, would do kind of the same thing where we would talk about new movies that are on streaming or on or at theaters or what have you, and just kind of talk about them in kind of in addition to what we normally talk about, which is usually older movies. This actually idea was really kind of more Jason's idea. Because as he said in last week's episode, we do watch more than what we do full on episodes of. And, so it's a little bit more of like what we're kind of vibing with right now. Kind of pull back the curtain a little bit on what we watch when we're not watching the movies that we're doing the episodes of. So what we're going to do, this first episode is we're going to talk primarily about the new movie, No Other Choice, which we all three saw in theaters.
Yes.
And
a little bit of early sneak on that.
Yeah, a little bit of a sneak on that.
Yeah. I think it'll be wide by the time this episode airs.
This episode is the day before it goes wide, I think.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So
yes.
So there you go. So we saw early screenings of that, not any kind of special early screening. It was just AMC and the IMAX theater had early screenings, and we all jumped on it. So that's kind of where we're going to start. We might also mention a few other things that we've also watched recently, or something that we might want to throw a shout out to. And then we're going to give a brief little 2 cents on this whole Netflix, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Universal, all of that craziness that's kind of going on there. Because I think that there is a lot of fears, a lot of concerns about it. And I sometimes think that it's worth talking about. We do a movie show, so why wouldn't we talk about it, right?
These are things we are certainly invested in, so why not talk about it?
Yeah, exactly. So, Jason, you want to kick us off on the No Other Choice?
Oh my goodness, No Other Choice.
Oh, and also I should say we're not going to do any major spoilers or anything like that. So we'll do a review. There might be stuff that you can infer from trailers that we might talk about, but we're not going to do a full on spoiler review.
No, we're not. So No Other Choice, the latest, greatest flick by Park Chan-wok, Korean filmmaker. If you're not familiar, he is probably most famous for Old Boy, which was then later sort of infamously remade by Spike Lee. Just like one of those really bad decisions by Spike Lee. It's like, this doesn't need a remake.
Spike Lee's not particularly great when he remakes other people's original stuff.
I know, and I haven't seen the newest one yet. That was a remake of the Kurosawa film Highest to Lowest.
Yeah.
But I've heard that that's not so good. But I've also heard that it is good, so I don't know. I'm kind of curious.
Well, his version of Ganja and Hess kind of famously misses the boat.
The Blood of Jesus, was that that one? Yeah. I didn't see that. But anyway, Park Chan-wook is working from a adaptation of a novel in this called Axed, which I don't know anything about.
The Axe. It was a 1997 horror thriller is what I just saw, just kind of checking over stuff.
To be honest, like Park Chan-wook is kind of like appointment viewing for me at this point. So I didn't know that this was based on any prior property until I saw it in the credits. What I did know was that Park Chan-wook made this movie, and I was like, yep, I'm going to be there as soon as possible. And I was. And, I mean, this guy just makes a good movie. I don't think he's really made a bad one. There's admittedly only a couple that I haven't seen, but everything I have seen is just insanely good. He made one of my favorite movies of 2023.
Same.
God damn it! Why can't
Decision to Leave.
Decision to Leave? Yes, which is unbelievable. I was talking to my wife, like we went to see this together, and I was like, "You saw Decision to Leave, right?" And she was like, "I don't think I did." I was like, "Really?" It's like we need to watch that movie together again. I want to see that again because it is just an incredible movie. Jeff, did you ever go back and watch that one?
No.
You should go back and watch that one.
Steph and I watched Decision to Leave. We both really liked it. Like in Steph's way, she probably gave it a 7 or a 7.5, but that's
Which is practically a 10.
it's fucking beautiful in her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was also in my top 10. Great film. So when I saw the trailer for this with Jeff was sitting next to me. I can't remember what movie we were at in the theater when I saw this. I was like, day one, I have to go to that.
Yeah.
What was it that we saw?
I don't know. It's probably
I don't
something we
remember,
could talk
but yeah,
about here, but
yeah. I mean, we were. What was that?
It's just kind of wild when a filmmaker just can always meet your expectations, and I feel like there are very few of those working today. And Park Chan-wook is one of them. He just always meets my expectations. And this was no different. I mean, it was just like so compelling a story, so timely of a story,
yeah.
right? Like the current events and with AI and with just like layoffs everywhere, like these quiet layoffs, it's almost like this coordinated effort to just put everyone out of work. It's crazy. And it's a topic that is so universal that it doesn't matter that it takes place in South Korea, right? Like anybody who watches this movie can relate to it. And that's one of the great benefits, I think, of a lot of foreign cinema today is that the world is getting smaller and we can relate on so many different things. It's the only thing that's different about us is our language and some culture, right? But there's nothing in this movie I don't think that any person ever laid off from their job couldn't relate to and probably have some of the same urges, right? Like those dark desires about how you feel about your former employer or how you feel about the competitive nature of work and the way society kind of puts this pressure on you.
Or the people that you have to compete with if you are jobless.
Right. That's exactly what I meant. Yeah.
Yes.
And also the pressure that you have as a breadwinner for your family. And how you work and you work and work and work and work and work to attain a certain level of comfort within your social circles, right?
And it can be taken away in
an instant. And how you have to chip away at that, how you have to do without little by little by little by little, and what that can do to your psyche, what can do to your relationships. It's in some ways like a very fun sort of dark comedy satire, but it's also like very biting and real at the same time. The
satire is biting. It's commentary.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, it's all commentary. Yeah.
Well, and I also found it interesting that it's like, yeah, while this is very universal in the concept of like, everybody could face something like this, or or how we're kind of in this kind of monstrous version of capitalism where everything is eating itself.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of that's the impetus of of what happens to our lead character, you, which every time I saw somebody say Mr. You, I was like, oh, that's kind of a funny little pet name between husband and wife. No, that's his name.
Well, I love that. I love that when she called him, it came up as Ms. Wife.
Yes, yes. That's why I thought, okay, his name is
That
you.
I thought was really cute. Yeah.
But the fact that, his paper company that he works for, that he's worked at for all of his adult life, basically.
A dying industry.
But something he takes incredible pride in. He's Pulp Man of the Year, 2019, goddammit.
Yes.
But no, it's like, he's having to offer up.
Okay, first major spoiler.
It's so
I'm
funny,
joking.
man. Yeah. All of the different Pulp Man of the Year in this movie just absolutely destroys me. It's so funny.
But the idea
that the one key person who never got the award, it's just
right. But the situation is that he's the one who's being told to offer up his coworkers, his friends, the people he spends time with, to effectively get the axe, as the title of the book that it's based on, is because an American company has come in and bought this company. So in a way, it's an invasion into his life, into his world.
It's a hostile takeover.
It's a hostile takeover and an invasion.
It's an interesting thing too, because it's an American company taking over this company, and he's going through his speech that he's going to tell them about why he can't be the one to fire these people. And he's like, and where you say you call it the axe, here in Korea we call it off with your head, Yeah. And it's like much more dramatic and like more visceral, but and that makes sense because I think a lot of Korean culture just feels more visceral to me. But but I love that immediate correlation to, it's like, well, look, it's the same everywhere. We just use different words.
And it does do a good job of explaining, or at least showing you where there might be cultural differences, like with the conditioning part that the males have to do there that we don't really have to do here.
Yeah.
Like it does, like if there are gaps, it fills them for you.
Yeah.
And that almost comes off like it's breaking them down further. Yeah. Right? Like it's reducing them to being nothing.
Yes, and it does juxtapose with the women in this film and how easily they make those choices versus men who have to convince themselves of their It's good stuff, and I don't want to say too much more than that, and I don't know how much more you guys have to say, but the one thing I do want to say at the end of this movie, when we walked out, I turned to Jeff and I said, this film has a scene that rivals the Honora scene.
The Honora what scene?
Living room scene when Honora is fighting with
100%. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so good. Yeah. So if you liked the uncomfortable humor of Honora, this film is definitely for you.
You know what's funny about
100%.
that? I'm gonna say one thing about that. Susan gets anxious when movies make you anxious. They want to make you anxious, and she doesn't like it usually. Like that scene in Honora,
I'm like that too. Actually.
I think she actually was very like just turned off by it.
Yeah.
She in no way, shape, or form liked Honora as much as I did. But yet that scene in No Other Choice that we're talking about, which we're not going to get to in the weeds on, she was into it, totally into it. She was into that entire movie. So I do think that there's something there in like the presentation, and maybe like the cultural distance, I think sometimes allows you to soften your perception of how you receive.
Well, that wouldn't happen here.
No, not with Jeff in the chat.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, yes, that cultural distance allows you to pretend that is not a possibility where
Well, it puts kind of a veil of like absurdity to it, right?
Yes. And
so the way I took that Honora scene was absurd humor.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt. And Chuck, you were reading my wavelength the whole time of that scene in this movie. Yeah.
But yeah, I 100% agree with both of you. It is that scene in this movie, and it is a unique moment in this movie because that's not what this movie is, and that's not what Honora was in a lot of ways. But I think
it's like a tension breaker,
Honora,
but it
like maybe leaned into a little bit more of that chaos throughout than this movie does. And I think this movie was right to show restraint when it showed restraint.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The things that you think are going to go horribly wrong in this movie kind of like taper off a little bit at times that you're like, oh.
I mean, I don't think it's a shock to say that there's murder in this movie, and I was surprised by how long it took to get to it.
Yeah. I would say that one thing that if I had two minor negatives on this movie, one, there was a period of time where I could kind of feel the length of it.
Sure. Yep.
I mean, it's a movie that's like 2 hours and 20 minutes long. Yep. It felt a little long in some scenes. There were some scenes that would carry out that I liked that because it was building that tension. But there were some in between interstitial stuff that was, it was going on a little bit too much before we got to that next big thing. My only other thing that I wanted to ask what you guys thought of is there are a couple of character things that I wish was a little bit better, like relayed. Maybe it was a little too, maybe it was a little too, subtle at times where it's like we learned something about our main character about halfway through that completely and totally changes how we feel about
your
this guy.
Perspective. I agree 100% about that. That is like the thing that gnaws at me about this movie is I didn't know how to feel about his character after I received that information.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it because
No. It's because it is a twist in the plot.
It is. And it has to do with our main character's drinking. I will just say that. And his wife's prior relationship because he adopts, she's a single mother when they get married, and he adopts her son. Yeah. But yeah, that kind of like, I got a little bit of the ick there. Did you guys?
Yeah, Chuck, how did you feel about that? 'Cause
I think it informs you in a way that is a little bit startling. And yes, I did think not great, but it also makes some of his choices make sense.
For sure.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think
it gives you the ability to say, okay, what he's doing makes sense to me.
He has darkness in him. Yeah.
Yes.
And there was a scene when that was really coming to a head where there was a lot of nervous laughter in the theater with us.
Yeah.
And it's like, people aren't reading this right. Am I reading this right? What am I? And it was a little wobbly on that. And then there was something about his wife.
That's kind of his style filmmaking, though.
Yeah, but I don't feel like that would be something you should be laughing at during.
Well, fair.
But the other character thing that I felt was a little too subtle was I would have loved for his wife to have been a little bit clearer about how she delineates the two men in her life and how they both do something wrong and how she treats them afterwards. Because there's an element where she favors one over the other, and it's a little too, the one she favors, I wish would be a little bit more open about why.
That to me, I see what I totally get what you're saying. That to me is a little bit of that Korean soap opera.
Maybe.
It just is. I think Wook plays on that a lot. That because it's so prevalent. Like that is probably the most pervasive form of visual media in South Korea is like that soap opera, right? High drama, melodrama. So,
there's the whole Subway series, the Subway sandwich shop series that are all commercials that are like high drama soap opera, Korean dramas that they have over there.
So I think it's playing a little bit off of that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that a little bit of that creeps into this. But yeah, I mean, you're right. But
they're small. I mean, those are small nicks. They're small. I mean, they're like small little cuts in an overall pretty beautiful picture that this was.
One of my gripes on this was a little bit like, this is so goofy, like nerdy technical, but some of the color correction I didn't love. Like some of that like really hyper color, like color correction, I was like a little annoyed with. I get more sensitive to that, I think, as I get older.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, I didn't really either.
It's in some of like the stuff in the trailer, like the scene where they all have the big family hug. Like the sky is like very clearly overly color corrected.
I would argue
I can see an argument for it being a thematic choice as well.
Pie in the sky kind of.
I get it.
I think Chuck and I are probably in tune on that one too.
Yeah.
I know. I totally get it. I get it. It's like he's trying to send signals to your brain.
We're exaggerating with this.
Yes.
Yeah, because it gets rainy and dark and cloudy later.
It does. Yeah.
I get you on that, but I accept it as a filmmaking choice.
I do believe that you're probably right. It was probably a choice. And I mean, I told you guys this in our chat. It's like I think this is one of the most interestingly edited films I've seen in quite some time.
Absolutely.
Definitely of this year. Like some of the transitions, some of the hard cuts, some of the superimposed shots were just like, oh my god.
The crossfades.
Yeah,
that
the
happened.
crossfades. I mean, unbelievable. Like unbelievable stuff. Like the kind of stuff that like Osgood Perkins really wants to be able to do organically.
Yes,
like,
because
I feel like that's Park Chan-wook is just like that's his jam. He's like,
he's
I'm making fucking
a little
cinema.
bit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's shot perspectives in this, especially in the Honora scene that I'm just like, I don't think I've ever seen somebody shoot from this.
Yeah.
There's so much distance.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And where you, and there are scenes where like you're seeing the action through like a small portion of the actual screen, and you can really, really notice this in IMAX.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you're seeing kind of like this foreground, but what you really need to be looking at is in
way
the
back there. Yeah.
and it's so good. I mean, I don't say this lightly, but Park Chan-wook is one of our actual living auteurs, and there aren't that many of them. And we did get a couple auteur films this year, and as an auteur film, I think this beats them all. Even P.T. Anderson. I don't think that this is a better film than.
You're saying the style is
more. But I think
Gotcha.
as like a filmmaker who is constantly honing and carving their craft and making not necessarily the same movie every time, but a movie in the style of, but also kind of like. I don't know, like Play-Dohing a different genre. Like this is like Hitchcock to me. Park Chan-wook.
Yeah.
It's on a different level. I don't think it's on a much different level than P.T. Anderson, but
it's not like far and away different. No.
Yes, but interestingly enough that you bring them both up is that right now in my rolling rankings for, top 10, trying to track that up, they are right next to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my list, which there's only one movie I think that I like better than both of them. And I'm questioning that right now.
I have a top 3 and it's really close.
Yeah. Are those two nearer in it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and the other one is Sinners.
That's my top 3 right now.
They're all very close.
I'm questioning the order, and I don't know if it really matters.
It's fascinating to me because, Chuck, you posed a question. You were like, all of us gave this 4.5 stars out of 5. Why do we not give it 5 stars? You're right.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I mentioned length and I mentioned just kind of comparing it to Park Chan-wook's filmography. It's like, well, I've given these movies 5s. Are they as good as that? No. Maybe that's not fair. Honestly.
I don't think it is, because there's a ceiling is different for everything, right?
It might not be fair. Like this might be a 5-star movie to me.
I think in my mind it should be, but I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to reconcile that in my brain. Like, why is this a 4.5? I couldn't even figure it out. So maybe it's a 5.
Am I the only one who clearly stated why it's a 4.5?
No, I said,
because I had those 2 character situations.
Yeah, no, you did, and it's totally valid, and I actually agree with those, but I also don't know that they're.
Well, that may not be yours, Yeah. I mean, that's fine.
I think there's valid character questions in movies you have given 5s to. Maybe you don't share them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's hey, it's subjective, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I won't. Your ratings are your ratings. I don't.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And we all kind of come at it from a different angle too. So
anyway, if it's not obvious, we all would recommend.
Yes, absolutely.
This movie.
I think that's a big old 3 thumbs up here. This is we've got a mutated body.
Or
we got
6 thumbs up.
6 thumbs up. Yeah, there we go.
You could have just gone.
We're
individuals.
We're all like amputees.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else have you guys been watching? Jason, you watched something that you wanted to briefly comment on.
Jason, if you need a break, I'll go.
I've seen a few things. Yeah, go ahead, Chuck. I'll collect my thoughts.
I'll make this pretty quick because I don't have much great to say about this movie. But I took my daughter and my wife to see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yes.
Not particularly inventive, not particularly great. I will say, as a giant Scream fan, it was awesome to have Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich in the same movie again, albeit they never. Well,
they don't interact.
They don't interact.
No, that's fine. I've heard a lot of people talk about how one of them just kind of comes and goes, and you don't even realize that he was there until you really think about it.
Yes, it's kind of a missed opportunity of these 2 giants of villainy and horror. Like, really, they are. Like sometimes I don't even realize how big they are in the horror genre. As they're the original Ghostface. And they're both in the same movie, and they're both, I won't tell you about their characters, but they're both very big in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe.
Okay.
What I can't appreciate about this movie, which my kids both did, which my oldest daughter gave it a 10 out of 10 for its fan service. Right.
Now, is this on the first movie or on the second movie?
The second movie. We're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
2.
So both daughters have seen it now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Sarah saw it, I think, the day before, like opening night with her friends, which is a miracle in and of its own that she went to a theater with her friends. But she gave it a 10 out of 10 on fan service and a 5 out of 5 or 5 out of 10 as a movie. Oh, if that tells you anything as a fan of like Five Nights at Freddy's, Brindley was all into the lore of it. It does a good job of that. So if you're a fan of that game series or the lore, this movie's for you. If you're a horror fan, you could catch it on TV later. The first one is definitely better as.
Oh, you like the first one better?
Better. It's not great. It's not. I mean, we're talking.
I think I gave the first one like a C plus was what I.
Yeah, we're talking like a plus or a half star or something like that. For me, as seeing a horror movie that I know very little about the property.
Yeah. So okay.
All right.
One movie that I will go ahead and talk a little bit about that I saw actually the same day that Chuck saw that FNAF 2.
I'm surprised I didn't say
The FNAFing. I do want to talk a little bit about Fackham Hall because here's a movie that is a parody of something I have never watched 1 second of. In fact, when the trailers for the movies for Downton Abbey came on, I usually fell asleep.
Oh, it's a parody of Downton Abbey?
Yes.
Oh, I will like this. Yeah.
Then, because what I wanted to say about this is that the parody movie has kind of made a little bit of a return. Earlier in the year, we had The Naked Gun, which I think all three of us liked quite a bit. Quite a bit more than maybe we even thought we would, even if we had
more than I expected to.
Yes, exactly.
I did not expect to like that movie so much.
Fackham Hall, on the other hand, is a movie that I have no reference for what it's parodying, but it's such a good parody because I get all of the jokes. They are broad enough jokes to where they're not necessarily pulling in a bunch of other pop culture references and throwing it in your face like the parodies of the 2000s were. But instead, they're just saying we're going to make an R-rated comedy and we're going to lean into it. And we're going to make fun of aristocratic 1930s people. And
1930s? Is that really when Downton Abbey, or is this? I don't even know. That feels older to me, but doesn't matter that much.
Well, this movie takes place in 1931. I think Downton Abbey's 20s or 30s, I thought.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I've never watched it either.
Yeah, but no, it is really pretty funny. And not every joke works, but I do think that it is one that I want to see again because I think the jokes will work better because it is like the airplane movies, like those Zucker Abrams movies. There's a layered joke to some of them. Like there's stuff going on in the background. There's there's affectations on ways things are said that if you missed it because you were laughing at another joke, you might get it the second time. But no, it was a movie that I saw a trailer for at one of those secret Monday night AMC movies. I didn't see anything about it on IMDb, or there was no trailer posted online.
It's kind of a secret, right?
It was, yeah. And it's like all of a sudden, then all of that stuff came back and I was like, oh yeah, I want to see that movie. And then I was very pleased to see that it largely got pretty good reviews. So I am excited that we might be in a time where I may actually be interested in seeing comedies again.
That's a beautiful thing where we get away from the, not that there's a problem with Anchorman, because I found it very funny the first time I watched it and all the riffing and all that stuff. But we have been missing smartly written comedies where the jokes are well crafted and not just people saying weird shit that makes you laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I want to say though, that like Fackham Hall is a joke in and of itself.
Yes, it is.
Fackham Hall,
it is.
Right?
Yes, it's Fackham Hall. That's part of the. That was part of the trailer. Yeah, that's part of the trailer. Is that because they were like at one point somebody's like, "What, Fackham Hall?" And it's like, "Yeah, exactly."
Okay.
I mean that's
okay.
part of
I don't
the
know.
joke.
Didn't know if you were
nobody. Yeah, all of the Cockney people that live around the estate hate the people who live in Fackham Hall, so it all becomes part of the joke.
Okay, so fair enough. I think you can reveal that fairly.
Yeah, right? Because it's in the trailer. It's in the trailer. Yeah. So yeah. So Jason,
something I watched recently that you all haven't. Nouvelle Vague.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that I pronounced that correctly because my French is fucked, but that is French for new wave. And it is a movie about the French New Wave. It is specifically about a movie about the making of Jean-Luc Godard's Breathless, which was
that's a gooder,
a landmark of the French New Wave later in the wave, but kind of like sustained it for quite a while longer. It's fascinating. This movie is fascinating. It's got like kind of a Wes Anderson element to it because all of the major players in French cinema are given kind of like a stoic camera shot with their name, right? It's like, oh yeah, this is Jean Pierre Melville. Oh yes, this is oh fuck. Anyway,
Another person,
another
guy.
Yeah. But it's mostly French actors. So it's very like kind of true to that. They're not trying to like play it as parody. Like it's Richard Linklater, who I was kind of surprised by. He spent a lot of time in Paris making all of his Before Sunrise movies, so I guess it makes a little bit of sense there. But it's all in French. It's subtitled. Jean Seberg obviously is played by an American, and she speaks kind of in between English and French. And man, she's like the actress who plays her is wonderful. Honestly, everybody's pretty wonderful in it. And if you've seen the movie, I would definitely recommend seeing the movie before you see this, because it'll just be a richer experience. Susan hadn't seen it in a while, and she was kind of like, oh, this was made for a certain person. And she's kind of right, because there are a lot of like tongue-in-cheek kind of things. And the more
made for a certain person called her husband.
Yeah, and if you the more you know about like French cinema of this era, the more enriching an experience it will be. It's kind of like one of those movies. But also like on the surface, it's really like a funny comedy about a pretty pretentious filmmaker making art, right? So it's super entertaining and very surprising from the man who made Dazed and Confused.
He's got a wide variety of movies. I know he centers on like the growth or whatever of people, but or eras.
Yeah. But yeah, I quite liked it a lot. It's gonna very easily be in my top 10 of the year. And it really kind of like, it's a nice, in a lot of ways, like if you can get past some of the jokey pretension of it, because it does kind of poke fun a little bit at that postmodernism of the French New Wave and the way it presents some of these characters. There's a lot. It's a fun kind of entryway, I think, maybe to people into this era of filmmaking.
Awesome. I have one quick one. I won't talk long about this, but speaking of French cinema, I'm going to talk about an Italian cinema movie, which is going to piss Jason off because I said cinema.
It's cinema.
A Holy Grail of the Giallo was released recently by Arrow Films, yes. The House with the Laughing Windows. I got that in my hands last week. It's considered a really good Giallo, but honestly, I find it to be more of a gothic horror. Like the Giallo elements are like kind of few and far between in it. But if you are a lover, as I am, of Giallo or Italian horror, well worth checking out. It's a little bit hinky. The editing is a little weird. Like it's got problems, but great watch for me as a fan of that genre. And I can't say much more than that about it without giving away what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's like, I love watching the 1931 Dracula. It's got problems, but it's important, you know? Yeah. So, no, I mean, excellent. I guess we will finish things up here with kind of the big news and kind of throwing in the 2 cents here. Of course, as most people know, Netflix has kind of snuck in to make a bid that Warner Brothers accepted that was a little bit lower than the publicized like Paramount Plus or Paramount price tag that they were offering. And I think there's a lot of things that are to kind of take into consideration. I mean, there's a concern over physical media. There's a concern over movie theaters. There's a concern, I think the biggest concern that I don't think enough people are talking about is that basically all media is owned by like 5 people. That's a problem.
People are talking about it, but they're applying weird
things to it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lot of people saying, oh no, it's a monopoly. Yes. oh no, I love watching movies in theaters and now I can't go see it. It's like, yeah, but when was the last time you went to a movie theater? About
I
6 months
share
ago.
I
you know,
share that concern though.
I do share that. I mean,
concern.
I share that concern to a certain extent, but my main kind of 2 cents about this is that one, I don't love the idea that there's these mega companies that are all trying to eat each other until there's one unit corporation that will own all of it, namely Disney, probably. But what I do want to kind of offer a little bit of a nuanced take on is that for 55 years, and actually longer than that, 75 years, there's been a concern about the movie theaters and the movie industry dying. First it was TV, then it was cable, then it was home video, then it was streaming. Movies have survived. The problem with movie theaters aren't necessarily the other forms of the media. It's largely the cost of the movies and the cost of the experience of going to the theater. And there's also the product that's being put out there. A lot of it is much more safe. It's IPs that they feel like are slam dunks. And there's a lot of other problems that are going on with the movie industry beyond Netflix, a largely streaming company who largely has a distaste for physical media and and in a very public war with places like AMC that will not show their movies. Mm-hmm. There's a larger problem than even that sort of stuff that I think is just all exasperated by this, because I have no doubt that Netflix is going to just continue to pump out IP safe stuff. We're going to get, 6 more Gremlins movies. We're going to get nothing but Batman movies. We're going to get, I'm sure there is some of that will go on. And the problem is that we have to figure out a way through that.
It's all disheartening. There's no good answer to any of this. It's all bad. It's like it's less degrees of bad is what we're really discussing here.
Because that was something else I thought about too, because Netflix is kind of the middle option, right? Yeah. I think the worst obviously is Paramount, because they want to transform so much of that. And then the best would have been Universal.
They're the political player.
Right.
Paramount. Yeah. What they want to do is honestly nefarious. It's nefarious to culture. It's nefarious to society. I won't get much into it more than that. But
the guy who runs Skydance is just a turd.
The biggest concern with Netflix is a little bit of content slop and maybe the death of cinema, like actual movie going experience, or the slow, even more accelerated death of that. Because I think, if we're being fair, like the movie going experience in theaters is already dying, and it will probably accelerate. But I do think there's an opportunity in that. I think if the current theater experience dies, I don't know that I will hate it so much that happens. I think there's a lot of it that just has become so disrespectful to the format. The audience going, like most of the audience goers to the theater today, I just don't think care. It's not.
They also act like they're at home.
Yeah, they act like they're at home. They're on their phones. They're talking throughout. It is not a good experience most of the time for me when I go to see a movie in a theater. Like I would honestly be okay if this iteration of theater going died and we grew something new out of the ashes that was actually a little bit more pure to the people who respect it. So that maybe has to happen. It maybe just has to. And if Netflix is the one that brings it about, fine, whatever. At least it's not the Ellisons. And we'll see what comes out of that, right? A new industry, a new niche market might be reborn. But I think the days of the blockbuster film are pretty much over. I really do.
Well, I think COVID hurt that.
COVID was the last nail.
Accelerant. Yeah.
It was an accelerant. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, so that was my thoughts on it all.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add to that because you guys touched on my one big one, which was the movie like going experience. I still enjoy sitting in that seat and seeing on a big screen.
Yeah.
And maybe that burn or that from the ashes experience will be still being able to view it on a big screen in just a different way somehow. I don't know what that is. I don't have the ideas. I'm the head of Muppet Jim Henson Studios now. So
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you need
someone else has to think about that.
Yeah, somebody else has to deal with that problem. Yeah, I mean, and me personally, it's like I would love to see movies cost a little bit less, put a little bit less pressure on movie theaters to perform, stuff like that. But that's a lot of it is evolution that's kind of gone. I mean, I think we probably could have seen 45 years ago or 40 years ago how much more expensive movies were going to be to go see. That's a whole other issue too. But
Sure.
Me personally, I mean, yeah, like I kind of said, it's like Netflix was the middle option. I hope they get it, not Paramount. But I would have probably have preferred Universal Comcast winning.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, because this is still very much up in the air.
Yeah.
It may not land with Netflix like it's supposed to.
Right. It could. I mean, there's so much up there. And I think that there's a lot of problems with the industry that need to be resolved, that we can't focus all of our attention on, Netflix is burning it all down, or this is the end of it right now. Tomorrow there's going to be no movie theaters. There's all sorts of other things. This is just one piece of it. And
this is how people focus now.
Exactly.
Not to get into a big thing.
I mean, it's everything is the most something.
Yes.
So, I mean, let's just hope that Paramount doesn't win.
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, I think that puts a bow on it. I mean, that's a good segue for what I want to talk about next week, which are a couple of Netflix movies.
Yeah. There's a lot of that coming out. Yeah. This is that time of year. Yeah.
I'll specifically.
I think the three of us will be able to talk about a specific movie next week.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking, the Knives Out movie. I'm thinking Train Dreams. I'm thinking, I saw Jay Kelly. Frankenstein. Let's all talk about that next week.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Let's have a whole Netflix-a-palooza next week.
Sure,
since we just brought
why
it up. Why? All right. So yes, next week, more Film Seizure now playing. We'll probably talk a little bit more about some of the other changes coming as we count down to number 400 next month.
Wow.
Wow, right?
Wow, indeed.
Next, so go to filmseizure.com. That's where you can find all of our shows, where you can listen to all of our episodes, and find all the places you can follow us and subscribe. Also on Monday, the 29th, at filmseizure.com, new episode of Monster Mondays, She-Wolf of London. Technically the very last Universal classic that I had left to do.
Ow.
Yes, exactly. Werewolves of She-Wolves. This upcoming Friday at my website, bmovieanima.com, I'm celebrating Christmas break by reviewing The Dorm That Dripped Blood, which takes place during Christmas break.
Nice.
How about that?
Perfect timing.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I do it right over there. I can't do Friday the 13th to save my life over there, but I can do other things like fucking Christmas break or whatever. Anyway. All right. So until next week, when we have more movies that are out currently to talk about, I am Jeff Arbuckle.
I'm Chuck Moore.
I'm Jason Oliver, and you have been listening to Film Seizure.